So what that means is
Stream is live. Do you want to put it on the Slack? Okay. Put it as well.
yeah.
Oh, something.
We're just talking.
Is it loud?
So those two.
Okay, can we start? So I want to talk about containers, and as an example, I will use Vagrant with virtual machine and Docker plus Singularity. But I will not really have talk too much about Singularity itself, mostly about Docker. So I want to start from, I don't know how many people use containers, but as a scientist, I didn't use for like long time. So I just want to like kind of give you a bit motivation of why do you want to use the containers. And so probably like most important for many people is that the science reproducibility. So as you know, like each project depends on software and hardware, so and environment. So basically, it's not only the code you are running, but also operating system and software packages and Python and languages. So to be really sure that you can reproduce your software, your code, you have to have like full environment. So basically, we just try to avoid like this like well-known situation where you are not able to like reproduce your science that you already publish because you don't have computer that you are running on, or you have no idea what kind of software was used. So if that's not enough, I would argue that also it's much easier for collaboration. So basically, if you wanna like share your work with your colleagues, it's often not enough just to provide the repository with your code. You also have to provide the full environment. And basically, you want to avoid situation when you have to kind of come back to your colleagues like all the time and asking what kind of software he was or she was really using, and avoid situation like pretty common, it works on my computer sentence. So, and maybe like less important for like general science, but I think it's really important for your personal usage. At least for my perspective, it was like freedom to experiment. So I don't know how you usually like update your system or like update your libraries, but as not really like software engineer, I kind of usually like try everything what I can. So basically, it's very close to like universal install script from XKCD. So, and I only hope that it will work. And I also hope that my previous code will run after the installation. So I would argue that if you don't feel comfortable about updating your system, if you don't feel comfortable about like installing new software, it's probably really useful to know about containers, because you just basically don't want to be stuck between like old version that it kind of works, but it's like very old, and new version that might work, might not. And if you do use containers, you are just not afraid of experimenting, of testing like new software. Yeah. So what are like virtual machines and containers? So the main idea is to just to isolate your environment. And that basically gives you gives you an opportunity to use the environment somewhere else, and you can share your environment with other people. And you have two basic types of containers technologies, like virtual machines and containers. And among virtual machines, VirtualBox is very popular, but also like a bit newer services like AWS or Google Compute. And among containers, like Docker is probably the most important, the most well-known. And among scientists, I think Singularity is also more and more common. So, and of course, these technologies differ, and it depends on the usage. So this is the main. This figure basically shows you the main difference between virtual machines and containers. So basically, virtual machines, they have to use software that's called hypervisor, and basically they have to build completely new OS system on top of your host system, and at the same time, containers, they don't do it. They use kernel of your host systems, and that's why they're much faster and much lighter. So, so I will start from Vagrant. So Vagrant is basically the tool that you are using with your virtual machines, and it's command line utility for installing software on your virtual machines. It's basically I think make it much easier to configure your virtual machines. And it works with more or less every virtual machine provider you have. So now I'll try to type a few comments and show you how to use Vagrant. So if you do have Vagrant installed, you can go to terminal, and I would just create new directory. So if you do have Vagrant, it will be really good if you just type with me. So just to have an idea. And I will be slow, so you will have time. Okay, I will just create new directory. We are moving there. Is it big enough? Okay. Good enough? So once you are in your new directory, the way to start Vagrant, and you usually use some already existing boxes. So for this, we use Ubuntu, and we just type Vagrant it. Does it work for everyone? Okay. So now when we check the directory, you will see that the extra file was created, Vagrant file, and most of the cases, I believe you don't change anything, but you can actually go inside and change. And as you can read this whole file, but basically they suggest that you only change this if you really know what you are doing. And I believe quite often you probably want to change, for example, memory, but you don't have to change this for now. So, so to use yeah. Is it what? Sorry, important? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, yeah. Yeah. So did you type in it? Yes. Vagrant. Yeah. A bit bigger. So that was this comment. Okay. So you should have like, if you check the directory, you should have like a vagrant file. Do you have it? Okay. So to run your machine, you should use vagrant app. And this is basically the same as you can, this is the moment that if you want to change provider, you can do it. And type VirtualBox. But basically, like VirtualBox is the default virtual machine, so it's basically you can skip this, unless you want to use something else. That probably should take like a few seconds. I believe first time it has to download it. The second time you don't have to. And actually, once it finished, you can check that it actually did download. Yeah, I will show you. Yeah. So now when you type, you can see ls-la. You can see that you don't only have vagrant file, but you also have this extra directory, and you can see that we have some extra stuff that was not after init, but after we asked for this. Yeah. So that was. So now, just if you really want to go into the machine, we have to SSH. So you can type vagrant SSH. You are pretty much in your Ubuntu system. So how was it your name? Yeah, was it /a? You can check where in the Ubuntu. Anyone had problem with this? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was the first one. So. I'm sorry, I assumed that Vagrant did install. I forgot about it. Okay. Wait for a moment. I mean, I don't have too much experience, but I would say that for most my usage, I would have Docker would be completely fine. And the one of the reason I think that why Vagrant is useful is the reason why, because of the singularity you mentioned, that you have to have singularity. And I understand that virtual machine is good if you want to be root inside. If you have to be root inside. But you don't have to interact. You don't have to know about this, yeah? With singularity, you actually do have to go inside. Oh, okay. I can go to. So, I don't know if I'm right, but also like virtual machine, it's better if you want to allocate specific memory and. So you can say that, for example. Oh, that's why Docker always on. I don't have this in my talk, but I can link. I can provide you the link to some kind of like comparison. And I remember like someone was saying that if you run the same application for many servers in your like virtual machine, by running like many applications, you would use. I think it was like kind of subjective as well. I think. And my understanding is that Docker is just much newer. So, like, this is kind of like virtual machine was defined like first, yeah. So it was like. No, I understand that this only helps you to create. And I understand it's nice because it works for. I don't know how different it was like create machine using VirtualBox and other without Vagrant. I'm guessing that it was hard. That's why they. That's how.
It takes a couple of hours.
I'm not sure about like. So are you still like downloading VirtualBox? Because we can go to Docker and come back. That was. So anyone was able to get to Ubuntu? Okay. I'm prepared for this. So I can go actually to Docker and come back. So just don't kill this terminal. We have to download more, but let's see. So that's Docker. Yeah. Okay, so like coming back to the discussion you started, like so I understand that it's like much easier and faster to deploy because it doesn't create like completely new OS on your computer, and only like needs like libraries and requirements like without like new OS. So maybe you can go to different terminal and test your Docker installation. So check Docker does it work? You don't have to install. Oh, okay. So okay, so that was this is kind of like part of Docker itself. But if we want to use like some other images, we have to pull, we have to download. But I think this one is not really big, so let's try Docker. Oh, I had it, so I'm cheating. But it shouldn't be like very slow. Do you have it? Okay, so you can actually check, you can type Docker images. I have. Okay, so we can try to run it. So the simplest command is like docker run. So okay, one second. So basically, if you only type docker run and your image, it will not happen anything because it's actually like right away leaves the container once it's done. If you wanna like run like single command, and run docker run so you basically see that it only goes to the container, runs the command, and immediately leaves the container. So you only have the hello, and you are already on your system. So just to go there like for longer and like type multiple commands, you can run docker -it. And now you are within your container. And so now actually, are you inside? So you can try to check what's what's inside your container. Not have access to your home directory because you didn't ask for it. So for now, you are not sharing like anything with your, not directory. Yeah. So. It's like very light Docker image based on Linux, like almost has nothing. So you can see that probably even doesn't have VI. Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, but I think it's quite often people are like, I saw people using doing tutorials because it's pretty easy to download. I don't know if anyone is really using for building anything. That's very light and doesn't have only GCC now. Exit. So now we can check actually so there's also a useful command like docker ps. So you can but I should have the PC box still. --rm. So actually actually better command I think to run usually. Like IT, you go within the container, and it's pretty useful rm that, as you saw, I haven't been using often. That you can be sure that once you leave the So, I mean, if you don't use it, you can still delete it, so it's not a big deal, but I will just leave it. So if you wanna, because as you saw previously, if you type ls home directory, you couldn't see anything, and you are just not sharing any directories. But if you wanna share, let's say I will create like new directory. It's just create like simple file within like data test. This is the path to the directory. And if I want to see my data, I will reuse the command like docker run -it, but I will use the -v, and you have to provide the directory from your local system, host system, and usually you just point to src. I don't know if you can actually run everything, can you? Oh, okay, so you can create new directory. Okay, so now, I mean, you can use src. So now if you go to S, have access to your data. Work for. So that's like, for now we are just using the the image that you, the image busybox, and we're not like installing anything, but like on top of this, we can install, probably we can install like apt-get Emacs, for example. Cannot. No, we did not copy, yeah. So I understand that, for example, I didn't try. So if I create like new, oh, okay. I leave it. I have the second. So I'm just showing the directory here. Okay, so that was the way how, if you wanna use, probably you usually will use some box, but if you just wanna use it like, don't wanna install anything, you basically usually just probably like just share the directory and you can do everything what you want and just save the results in your directory.
Sorry.
I believe so, because we are using the same computer anyway, so it's. Or should I try root here? But that was the example, like if you don't want to install anything, but in practice, if you want to build your own image, you can do it by creating Dockerfile. So for this, I understand that you should have like, oh, no. You should create like new directory, like, and we can create Dockerfile. And I understand it should be called Dockerfile without anything else. So you can track many examples of Docker files. Oh, sorry. So the basic idea is that you always create. You have to run commands from some sources. So the basic structure of the file is like from, and for now I will use like example of running FSL with R. It looks like some people are using this. So this is like, can just watch it. Or something like NiPipe. Do you have NiPipe? Okay. Anyone, like, do you have NiPipes? Did it work? Okay, so it's also huge, but it's not that it's done. So that's the thing. So Docker will always search your local images and will not try to, for example, update or anything like this. So if you have one, you will just use it. If you want to update, you have to ask for this. What do you want? Upget, so you have, yeah. So I can actually do the same. Ask for upget update. Get it. Once you have it, I'm sorry, I'm missing one comment. That's the one. So directory, we have to type docker -t, and we are just calling our image. Oh, okay, yeah, yes. Yeah, I will show, yeah. I mean, you can always use the Docker images you have on your computer. So it could be. So for now, this is your kind of your own. I will show you later, like the places. Now it's not downloading the image itself, but it's downloading, updating upget, yeah. Yeah. Oh, but it's from NiPipe. So change NiPipe/NiPipe.
Right.
Okay. Not as long. I mean, I did it. Also use Fortran. So what about your Vagrant? Did you download the VirtualBox? okay, so maybe drink, okay, let's, so just answering your question, like there's like something what is called Docker Hub, and this is like standard place where people share Docker images. So you can go to NiPipe account, and you will see that they actually like the last changes was like 9 days ago, and you can sometimes check like some tags, Docker file. So that's the Docker file that is used by NiPipe. So they base on Ubuntu, and they use basically the source code from GitHub account. So that's kind of useful if you wanna. I'm sorry, if you wanna use NiPipe, but for some reason you don't wanna download everything, you can just use like NiPipe Docker container and run everything there. It should work, and I will do it. We will do it. So like other like useful places, I would check, for example, if you are a Python programmer and you don't want to install like all scientific libraries, Anaconda is pretty good place to check. I mean, it's pretty big, so it's pretty big. So I don't know how big it is. You are much bigger. Okay, nice. Oh, okay, so Anaconda does not have this. But it's probably like the most common Python scientific libraries you will find within Anaconda. And this, I believe, is version 3, like Python 3, but I'm sure you can find also 2.7 if you want. Miniconda, it's also like developed by Continuum, but it's like the package manager. So it's pretty useful for if you wanna create your own environment. And you can actually install not only Python packages but also other software. But it's create like environment, not container. Okay, so I will try to come back to my. So it worked for me, at least. Does it work for everyone? Okay, so we can try to run this. So docker run -ti -rm. Like our so, and if you are using like standard Unix system, like a distribution, that's usually like pretty easy to find the installation instruction. So maybe just for a moment, since we have NiPipe, I don't know. So I understand that Satra will use it tomorrow. So we can actually go just to check if everything works. So if you type Docker images, have NiPipe, and probably didn't specify the tag, so it took the latest. And you also have information that it was like 9 days ago built, and how big is on your, that's like 11 giga. So you can run docker dash run. So check. One of the standard way of checking if everything works, you can run tests. So we can go to, okay, so where is the NiPipe? So that will be in your SRC. Go to NiPipe. Go, for example, to type NiPipe. Test. Don't want to run like all tests, so that's why I went to some directories, but you can see that like hope that everything is working. Have it? So your images work, and you will use it tomorrow for tutorial. Okay, we can exit this. Try to see the background. So last command was so did you type background SSH? I mean, I will exit actually. So you were, I think we did vagrant app. That worked. And from time to time, you have to do it anyway, once again. If you, I mean, it will stop running. So if vagrant SSH doesn't work, you will have to like vagrant app again. Okay, so we can try vagrant SSH. Faster this time. And then I was it. So this is like Ubuntu, so it's much bigger than VisiBox. So you actually do have like many things. Probably you have GCC, for example. But for example, you don't have Emacs. So because you are root inside, you can download everything and install. So you can, for example, like sudo app get update first, because I know that it will not work without this. So in the same way, you also can install Singularity within Vagrant within the. Now I want to. Now you should have Emacs. exit. That's more or less what I had for Vagrant. So I think like quite often, like as Satra also mentioned, like you are using some existing boxes. So Ubuntu is pretty commonly used. And for example, if you wanna, so at the beginning I wanted to show you how to install FSL, but the installation didn't work exactly as it is described. But you can actually go, so in the way how I installed Emacs, it's pretty standard way of installing. You can also like easily check this on the web. But for example, if you wanna go, also usually like pretty, you can be sure that you will have some installation instruction for downloading FSL or any other software for Ubuntu. So you can go, actually I have the link. Okay, so we can actually go just to here and FSL installation. Go for Linux. For example, for FSL, they're saying for both for Debian or Ubuntu, you should go to NeuroDebian and just follow instruction. So here you have like several options. So you know that we were using the trusty one because that was the one that we used for Vagrant init Ubuntu trusty. So we just follow this one. We wanna also have like instruction. We can actually try to do it. It didn't work yesterday. I mean, you don't have to do it because we'll be stuck anyway, probably, but so. And this command didn't work for me yesterday, and it will be changed. So probably in like next week, it will work. Oh, it works. Okay. This one I did already, so do I have to do it? Yeah, you do. Okay. I mean, you can try to do it too. And now you install FSL. FSL. Was it like FSL path tracking? Oh, FSL info?
It'll say,
Okay. Okay. Like FSL dash info?
Oh, no, just the one.
Oh, okay. Okay. In 1 minute. Yeah.
So
Can you repeat the first part? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah. So, so for example, like, you can, so for example, like, you can find examples of using a Jupyter notebook. So that's actually pretty standard example. I don't know if this is what you had in mind, but yeah, okay. So I think I will not find like right away for FSL, so I will just try. Oh, thank you. Okay. I had my that is also like uh, FSL info. It was, yeah. So it didn't. I mean, probably you should set some paths. I don't want to probably do too much with FSL now, but basically you usually have like pretty good instruction how to do it if you use that. And so the last thing I wanna like my pipe up. Okay, so Singularity is like, it's a bit like Docker, but it was actually created by people from HPC Center, and they had in mind like scientific application, and they do support existing traditional HPC systems. So I understand that the reason why Docker not allowed in many HPC centers, it's because you are becoming a root inside. So it's yeah. Yeah, so that's the main reason why people don't want to allow this in the HPC centers. And so people who are building Singularity basically had this in mind. So they had scientists that wanted to use Dockers, but they didn't want them to install Dockers. And that was their answer, to build something that is in a way similar goal as Docker, but it does not allow you to be like, it doesn't have problem with root privileges. So as we are talking, like, so to build a container, you have to be a root. So quite often that's your choice using Vagrant. So either you can use it on your local machine, or in your cluster or HPC system. So you can create virtual machine using Vagrant. You can download, install Singularity, and that's the place where you're creating your container, your image. And once you do it, you can use the image itself within your Singularity is downloaded. So, and the good thing is that it can run existing Docker containers. So you don't have to, if you have like containers that you are using, you can use it with Singularity. And this is actually like presentation on Singularity on OpenMine, so it's the local cluster system, but you can see the Satra examples. And just to show you, like the presentation. Okay, so this is, okay. This is the way build the container using, I believe, yeah. Once you do it, you can use container without being root in your system. Thank you. Sorry? Yes, so I will. I was told that Beamer and later it's not very welcome here, but I did include PDF, so. Have any other questions? Does my computer?
No.
But I understand that, I mean, they didn't want to install Docker for like very good reasons. Variety. For example, like like I believe what Satra would like to move in the situation, like system administrator don't have to download and install everything for you, you can actually, it might be much easier for them if you have some like singularity container up. So I mean, I know that OpenMind is using this. I don't know if, like, for example, like for your university, it's like problem, yeah. That shouldn't be a problem if you want to. Also, probably like Vagrant is not problems, but like to create your image, have like Ubuntu or something, you can just without Vagrant. If you don't have, you have to Vagrant and create. And also it uses, like, it runs perfectly fine. My understanding with Docker. Can we use your previous Docker? Yes. Yeah, so, and also like, so I still don't understand if there's any value of creating singularity file using bootstrapping versus like just creating Docker image. Can use, like you can run basically, I can. Oh, here, for example, like, can you see it? So this is like more or less the same as like Docker run -it. It's more or less the same. Like you ask for shell within the container. So this is like Singularity shell, and you are using BusyBox from Docker.